There are countless isekai and fantasy animes out there. Chances are that you've seen them all. The classics are set, but some modern classics are just around the corner. Modern isekais definitely excite us. Thanks for joining us today at Animeology. There are so many brilliant new anime series that have recently come out and are about to come out. We're just as pumped as you. Some of the recommendations on our list of new isekai fantasy animes are so fresh and original that we legitimately cannot wait for them to get released. Number 10. I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level. An absolutely brilliant series that has been around for a while, seen a great deal of success both as a novel and manga. Fans are finally getting to see an anime adaptation and it's hard to get excited about it. A brilliant comedy slice-of-life type series set in a magical isekai realm. We follow Azusa, a young woman that died from overwork and reawoken as an immortal undying and forever young witch in an awesome new world, vowing to live her life stress-free. Killing only the lowest level creatures for hundreds of years, turns out that Azusa is now incredibly overpowered and her chances of living a quiet and peaceful life have become a lot harder than she initially thought. A charming and light-hearted watch, this is an anime series you don't want to miss out on. Number 9. 7 Knights Revolution. Based on a successful RPG game out of Korea, this anime adaptation has a lot of background information and world lore to keep itself interesting for viewers. With a brilliant world and a huge cast of well-written and intricate characters, if this anime adaptation is half as good as the video game, it should be brilliant. An evil goddess and her followers attempted to destroy the planet, but were stopped by the 7 knights that were chosen by the goddess Saras. The story picks up many generations later as those 7 knights are the greatest heroes who ever lived. An academy is set up around these mythical warriors, and their styles and life forces are channeled into newer generations of warriors. Unfortunately, the cult of the evil goddess is starting to rise up once again, and these new warriors need to channel the fighting spirit of the 7 knights and defeat this great evil once again. Number 8. The saint's magic power is omnipotent. Although still in its early days, we can easily see this turning into a long-running and highly successful series. The premise alone is honestly so brilliant, and there exist so many avenues this series can go down. Following Sai, a normal office worker is summoned to a magical realm of Salutinia. Instead of just being Sai being summoned, another woman has followed as well, destined to banish the dark magic plaguing the world. Sai becomes a researcher at a research institute and slowly starts to get involved with the lives and situations of the exciting world around her. Slowly we start to realize just how magical a place that Salutinia can be. Although lacking a big action scene and heavy fighting, this series focuses on the intimate struggle and development of a relatable and down-to-earth character. The story of Sai is one that we keep coming back to see. Number 7. I'm standing on 1 million lives. A brilliant tale set in a wonderful isekai realm, we follow the story of Yusuke and his classmates as they get transported to a magical game-like world. Wasting little time, we see the 3 young boys embark on a variety of exciting adventures and encounter a number of mythical creatures. What sets us apart is the mysterious games master that meets our young heroes and grants them a time-limited quest, then gives each of our heroes a role: warrior with insane melee abilities, mage with powerful magical skills, and of course, farmer. A hilarious setup that develops and fleshes out in an extremely interesting way. This isn't your standard lazy comedy, but chooses to mix up great action and adventure storytelling as a tool for great humour. So well written and with natural characters and encounters, it's hard not to fall in love with our young adventurer and follow them as they look to protect the world from demons and monsters. Number 6. Eden Zero. An absolutely riveting sci-fi fantasy anime with an exceptional sense of adventure. The setting of Eden Zero is one that has us hooked from the very first episode, closely following Shiki, a young boy on a voyage across the cosmos on a starship called the Eden Zero. Join him and his crew as they search heaps of unique and diverse planets as they seek the cosmic goddess known as Mother. A really intricate universe of humans, aliens and intelligent robots, each planet we encounter is filled with extremely futuristic yet classic fantasy elements. Every episode stands apart from the rest, with our lovable crew encountering everything from cybernetic dragons to mysterious inhabitants of the Sukara cosmos. Alternative histories, time paradoxes, Eden Zero has it all. A definite watch for any sci-fi anime lover and someone looking for a brilliant isekai fantasy adventure. Number 5. Cheats Pharmacists Slow Down. A really fun and unique tale on the isekai genre, this series is firmly set in a fantasy and chooses to revel in its story through its episodic slice-of-life format. Extremely original and highly anticipated watch, this series will not let you down. We meet Rigi, a young worker suddenly transported to a magical isekai world, using his skills to create some of the craziest and most powerful potions that world has ever seen. Earning piles of cash, he decides to reinvest and start up his own store. The sort of potions and remedies Rigi creates are really wacky and fun on their own. An elf that can't aim, a dragon that can't control his fire breath. These are the sorts of interesting characters that Rigi could encounter on any given day. Rather than focusing on the magician isekai adventures, this series opts to look closely at the life of a simple inhabitant of the realm. A really fun watch with an interesting and likeable cast of characters. Number 4. Dragon Lee Wo Kao. An interesting and high-concept manga series that we are so glad to be turning into an anime series. Honestly, the premise behind this series is a lot crazier than most and is a clear indication of the sort of experimental anime series that we can expect in the future. A pure fantasy realm through and through, we follow a young red dragon by the name of Letty. A weak and timid dragon is kicked out of his family home. The story follows the lovable Letty as he goes on the search for his dream home. That's right, you have a series about a dragon that goes house hunting. And we love every second of it. Don't worry, the series thickens and adds a great deal of interesting and fun side characters, from the powerful elf demon lord that is also in the real estate business, as well as a stubborn princess and a cowardly knight. This is a series that sets out to have a bit of fun, and we guarantee you will be having a lot of it along the way. Number 3. How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. Now, this is a series that is hard not to love. If you haven't checked it out, then we highly recommend you give it a go. Taking a look at the isekai genre and really flipping it on its head, the process of rebuilding a kingdom is something we'd all love to be part of. Following Kazuya after being summoned to deal with the threat of a demon lord, our hero decides not to go adventuring and fighting, but rather to sit as king of the realm. Using his sheer political power, Kazuya starts making big changes in order to make this magical isekai world a more pleasant world for everyone to live in. A really fun and unique spin on the classic isekai high fantasy battle animes, and taking a step back looking at the management and running of these kingdoms. The plot thickens as we learn of a civil war and a battle of nations. This is definitely one of the greatest new series out there and will very likely be considered one of the greatest of all time. Number 2. Combatants will be dispatched. The premise behind this exciting new Senyin series really has us excited, and we're just begging for more. With a brilliantly unique dystopian future type of situation, this series explores action and sci-fi like no other. Following the evil Kisaragi Corporation having recently dominated planet Earth, we follow their expanse through the rest of the universe, sending out Combat Agent 6, this new battle droid, into a fantasy world through a teleporter. Arriving in this new world, this dangerous battle droid gets caught up in the epic battle for this planet and soon joins the King's military. The interesting balance of this series between the collision of the battle droid trying to win the planet for the kingdom, whilst establishing some key points for the Kisaragi Corporation to ultimately take over. A very interesting core concept that is balanced through some complicated and intelligent scenes. A brilliant watch that treats its viewers with the maturity we deserve. And number 1, 86. An extremely new series, this light novel has spawned both manga and now an anime series. A very tasteful blend of romance against a mecha and military sci-fi background. 86 is one of the most engaging and well-rounded isekai fantasy anime series that we've ever come across. In a world plagued by war for at least a decade, with heavy losses on both sides, we learn of these powerful mechs known as juggernauts. Although the public believes that this is a battle of machines, this powerful technology is controlled by humans. This is just the surface of the mountain of lies and political mystery that surrounds 86. The plot expands heavily in every way, with each episode layering on heavy world lore with a serious and grim story. Notes of happiness and emotion with an engaging and interesting romance. There is something for everybody. 86 is an anime that is hard not to love. Do yourself a favour and check it out.